Hello there, it's preview show time. United travel up to Accrington looking to get back to winning ways after last week's gutting last-minute equaliser on a day where the top five picture could change quite drastically. I'm Julian Roberts and I've got Matt Caspell with me. How are we?
Hello, mate. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yeah, 4 in the morning record for us.
4 o'clock in the morning. Friday morning. Not the best prep for the half marathon, getting up this early to do a podcast, but, you know, we move. It's for the listeners, so...
Yeah, well, that's what we're always in. Yeah, we dedicate our lives to the listeners.
Mate, we've moved. That's what we do. They've moved that Swindon game to a Thursday. What happens to the Friday preview show?
The Friday preview show will be 3 days in advance because it will be for Cheltenham away.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I see. Okay,
no, actually,
okay.
Yeah. That is. By the way, it's polarized a few group chats.
It really has. Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I don't quite understand where you stand, but I am all for it. I think that's
when I sent a message out with a screenshot going, "That is world class."
Oh, I don't remember.
Should we?
I thought you just put, "Oh, interesting."
No. I was pretty pro. I'm pretty pro that. Obviously, being means we can celebrate the true purpose of Easter for starters, which is good. And secondly, means we can probably just all take a half day on the Thursday and just turn what is already a 4-day weekend into more like a 5-day weekend. Yeah, basically. Yeah. So sounds like fun to me.
How is your half marathon prep going? A couple of days time at the time of recording.
Well, yeah. It's Friday now, so
48 hours from now you'll be lining up. Assuming you're eating a lot of carbs.
I'm eating a lot of carbs. I'm doing a lot of research because I've never done a half marathon, so I've just all of it's just a learning experience as much as anything. But nitrates apparently, beetroot supposed to be. Honestly, all coming out of ChatGPT, it's like could add 1 to 3%, and I'm like, that's pretty big. I need those marginal gains.
1 to 3%
beats, mate, according to ChatGPT. Nitrates. So I'll be there just munching on some beetroot at the start line. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Training's gone all right. I've been fit and well for 7 weeks, which is unheralded during this entire training, where I've had 2 major breakdowns. Not mental breakdowns, obviously, just physical ones. The mental breakdown comes later, I think, when I'm about halfway round. I think it's about mile 5. There's all the fun of being in Cambridge city centre, running around the colleges, crowds, bridges, it's all great. And then there's a good 5 mile stretch where you just off to the M11, Grantchester, Trumpington, no one. Yeah, just on your own, really. I think it's going to be an interesting experience, isn't it? And by all accounts, I've never done obviously Cambridge Half either, but by all accounts, it just sounds like a really fun day. And obviously, we're all off to the Old Spring afterwards. Do come join, get skepasti.
That is the important thing. Yeah. That is the important thing to plug there for sure. We actually just had a lovely chat just at the time of recording. We've just been chatting to Josh Coulson, who's also running it for the foundation for the same cause. The links are going to be in the description for this show if you want to go and donate to a brilliant cause. We're going to insert a little clip from that Josh Coulson interview where we chatted about the half marathon now.
I'm just ready to go. I was in the car earlier and I was just like, God, my legs feel great. I was like, I'm just ready to do it.
How about you, Josh?
I'm the complete opposite from that. I'm more worried about I've got a game on Saturday and then have to run a half marathon on Sunday. But
yeah,
is the carb loading only for the week before? I'd do it every week.
So are you a keen runner, Josh, or not? Is this first half marathon for you?
Yeah, first half marathon. Not a keen runner at all.
Really?
Got sucked into it a little bit at work in the office. I'm pretty much doing it for some free Brooks stuff. But no, it's...
and obviously to raise money for the foundation.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was something I've always probably wanted to do. Well, I'd like to do the marathon, but I think that's a bit too far to go straight into. But it's always something I've wanted to do. But obviously this is the first year out of full-time football for me. So, Shinny at Newmarket, my manager's not too best pleased. We're glad we haven't got a game on the Tuesday, but it's something I thought I can do. Obviously, working at the club now, first year, and being back at the club and with the foundation doing a lot of stuff, good stuff. I thought it'd be brilliant to sort of get involved with doing it for the foundation and cracking on and doing it. So,
what sort of time are you aiming for? Let's start there.
Wow, I don't really. I'm not going. I'm just going to plod round. I've told everyone I want to just plod it round, take in the crowds, try and enjoy it. I'm going to be sore from the game on Saturday. I'm 37 now, so
Yeah,
recovery is quite hard after a game on a Saturday. So I'm looking at 2:15. Hopefully, I've got a few people I'm going to run with. I think a lot of people will know Sean Whiter, who lost his legs due to a drunk driver hitting him. He's running it, so. Amazing. I'm going to try and keep up with him. He's a very keen runner. So I'm going to start off with Sean and sort of try and go around with him.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, that's amazing. How for someone like you, like a pro, or well, I guess semi-pro now, but sorry, as of 9 months or whatever. How does it like? Because I was wondering like what the sort of base level of fitness of a footballer, someone who plays week in week out, trains 2, 3, 4 times a week. How does that translate to running a half marathon? Because I know it's a very different type of fitness. Yeah. Like it's a totally different thing, or
it's so different. It's so different. The little training that I have done for this half marathon has been tough. Like running on my own is something that mentally I can't do it. It's so tough. Whereas like if I go back to like pre-seasons and off-season training, you're always trying to either competing with people, running with people. It's never just a jog. It's shuttles. It's other runs, and it's not running for 2 hours. Let's put it that way. It's just straight. So it's totally different. At 37 and a little bit heavier than I used to be, it's even harder now on the old legs and joints and knees and ankles. So it's so different. But I think I'm better when I run with people. I've had my friend Shane, who our little boys go to school together. He helped me run on Sunday 10 miles. I thought I need to know how I'm going to feel after a game on a Sunday. I thought I'd get mentally prepared for it. So he dragged me around Newmarket 10 miles. But running with someone helps. He just talks in my ear all the time, and I sort of try and keep up with him. So it's totally different.
It's the boredom for me as well. How have you dealt with it, Matt? Because I mean, you've not run a half before, have you, Caspell?
Never run a half marathon either.
But Josh, just to give you, like he's looking for like 1:30 or something like that. So.
Yeah, he'll be. I'll wait when you run past me. No worries.
I should do all right. I've not said to anyone really the time. I've definitely not said it on the pod that I'm trying to do, but I'm trying to do it reasonably quick. In for a penny and in for a pound and all that. I quite like the runs, but I'm always hooked on my data. Got my heart rate, got my sports watch, and it's like just like calculate. I don't know. I just spend the whole time. The way I while the time away is by figuring out, if I can run this fast for the rest, then I'm going to do it in like this time, or like working out my ratios, like heart rate to pace ratio. Literally, I just spend the whole time doing maths. So if I look confused on the half marathon, it's probably because I'm trying to work out what the hell's going on and what I need to do. I think I've just got to try and stay calm. And that's the big thing. Apparently, first half marathon, the risk that you just like burst out the gate and go too fast and just use up all your energy. I've only ever really run like 5 and 10Ks where I think you can just get away with it. When you're a bit younger, you just back yourself and you're going to make it. So, we've got to see what happens, haven't we?
Yeah. For you, Josh, like Caspell just mentioned there about the like the data side of things. When you started playing, that must have been a totally different scene, or was it? I don't like the sports science side of football training and everything. It must have been so different.
It's so different. It's funny now. I go when I pop into the training ground and maybe watch the 18s or watch the first team. The amount of data and iPads that are out and drones are in the sky. And that, let me tell you, that was not about when I first started. GPS Fest came in probably halfway through my career. And then, like at the latter end when probably, I remember Leyton Orient, iPads started coming out and GPS data was tracked live. So you had to hit a certain amount of sprints and speed and all that stuff. So it started to come in. I'm probably lucky I sort of got away with not having to do too much of that stuff. So
do you have that down at even at like Newmarket's level? Will you have like data?
No. A lot of teams have GPS now. I think GPS is even with the college program that I run, we have GPS for the 4 or 5 teams that we have, so we can sort of track what they've done. And I think the younger generation now, they love all the data stuff. They love the VOs getting recorded if they score, and they on the social media stuff. So
yeah.
But if I score nowadays, I still will put it on my social media. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, good.
It's mad. I just had a message actually on my work phone. this team lost. One of the teams lost 5-1 yesterday, but he scored, so he wants the VO footage. And it's not to watch back to criticise the performance. It'll be to his goal on Instagram. But yeah, it's a
different landscape, isn't it? What about like in your career? Has there been many players you've played with who were like really keen runners? Because I saw like throughout their career, because I saw Tom Champions training for the London Marathon, I think.
He's doing the marathon. Yeah,
he looks like he can go at a good decent.
He's still a fit boy. He was. I mean, when he played, he covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, he would be. I can imagine he'll be a very good runner. He'll get some good times. Trying to think who else.
But I imagine it's not the sort of hobby you can have when you're a footballer, because you can't go out and go running, can you? Yeah.
No, you can't. You have to. I mean, all your running should be done in training, and sports scientists and stuff. They'll tell you to rest and recover when you're at home. So yeah, it's not something that many footballers can do. So
yeah, of course. Well, look, if anyone sees Josh on Sunday, obviously give him a big shout. I think there are plenty of United fans watching. Would you do another one, having done this training? Would you do another half, get a marathon in?
Well, you say training. I haven't really done a lot of training.
Fair enough. Yeah, sorry. Just the carbs. Just keep going with the carbs.
Just the carbs.
Well, I mean, we're still playing. It's like we've obviously got training tonight and then game on Saturday, and we've had a lot of Tuesday night games. So I've not really trained. I've done a few runs here and there, but let's just see how Sunday goes.
You'll get round, mate. It'll be amazing. And you're obviously raising money for the foundation as well. I think we'll put both our links in the episode description, so do go and give generously. And Josh, if you're free after, we're doing a little meet up at the Old Spring, just the pub just nearby, who sponsors us. Nice. Come down for a drink. Because if you come, we can get a few other listeners down as well. Because I don't want to meet us, I want to meet you.
You just have to listen to me bang on about whatever time I've done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If I break 80, it's gonna be the most unbearable afternoon of your life, basically.
Thanks very much, Josh, for that. That was a really nice chat. There is a full interview there with Josh Coulson where we asked him your questions that came through from some listeners on our Substack chats. Won't surprise you to know that the full mailbag is available for coconut tier only.
There it is.
Say it with me. Don't make me tap the sign, Caspell. Don't make me tap the sign. But at the moment, if you're a coconut tier subscriber, which everyone listening should be, if obviously you can afford it, and if you could, not be a round dodger and pay for your bit, you are getting some quality stuff. If I say so myself, you're getting, in the last 3 weeks, you're getting an interview of Ben Knight exclusively. An interview of Bono went out 2-3 days ago, and you're getting this mailbag with a legend of the club, Josh Coulson, who we've had on before, and you can go back and listen to a full UTAS meets with him where we went into a bit more reminiscing, but this was really nice to ask him a few questions. His training's a bit different to yours, it's fair to say.
It seems that way. It seems that way by all accounts. We've taken two different approaches, I would say, and I'm interested to see how that yields out, basically. But yeah, no, it was a really good chat with Josh. Obviously, he's a club legend. Is that like very sobering moment the other day where I realised that I am a year older than him. That's great stuff, isn't it? I've just properly wasted my life. This guy's gone and had a whole professional football career. Won at Wembley twice, still playing now. Played against Man United. Played at Old Trafford. Played against Wayne Rooney. All of that. And I've just kind of, worked in marketing for the entire time. That's, I bought a house, I suppose. That's something.
Yeah, that's good. All right, God, this pod's going to descend into a very different thing if you start questioning all your life choices.
I'm going to be quicker than him. Yeah. I'm going to do the half marathon faster than him. So,
God, if you don't, that's going to be painful.
Well, it's all fucked. If that's going to
be something different. Come on, let's talk about the football match on Saturday. As is written here, I think this is spot on. Big game, but doesn't quite feel like it for some reason. Is that?
Why is that?
Why is that? Is that because it's Accrington and it doesn't feel big as a club? I don't know. I don't know.
Like, not many of us are going to the game.
Yeah,
I'm not going because it seems like the sensible thing to do for a half marathon is just to not do like a 14-hour round trip to Accrington. So I can't really put my finger on it, but it's theoretically, they're all just getting bigger. We went through this, the Caspell's law of the running,
huge.
The League Two running, where the games just get bigger and bigger. They just keep increasing in size. So it's one of those weird ones where I wonder if we go there and we draw, you'll say, oh, it wasn't that big. But if we go there and we get a result, like if you go and win up there, you're like, that was massive. That's a huge result. Because particularly because at the moment we just seem to have hit that phase now of the season where, in this pack of five, it felt like back in January, even earlier, all five were just winning. It just felt like everyone was winning the entire time, basically. We just weren't paying much attention and not really noticing when other teams draw. Whereas now it feels like, obviously, we saw it last weekend, including ourselves and MK, obviously, four of the top five didn't win their games. And I just feel like we've entered that phase of the season now where every weekend someone is going to slip up and it's just going to be, you almost flip into like damage limitation mode. And you're like, right, just don't let it be us. Or if it's like last weekend with MK, it's like, well, if it's us, we've taken someone else out with us from that top five and we've survived the weekend really because we didn't really make a big net loss on our position. We kind of moved sideways with the other teams that drew because there's a top three that are going up, right? So we don't need to be top of that pile. Also, think about this total tangent, but we kind of need Bromley or want Bromley to come up, I think. So if we're looking at League One next year, much rather have Bromley up there than
Notts County.
Yeah, MK, for example, because you feel like...
Me and Tom had this exact conversation the other night.
Yeah.
Exactly so that. Yeah.
I'm sort of, obviously it would be nice to win the league, but I'm relaxed if Bromley want to go and do that as well, to be honest. Like them getting promoted, as long as it's not in our place, probably suits us, you would think. Plus, also, you've got to see what happens when like Leicester or West Brom get that away allocation, 594 tickets. I just want to see how that plays out. Anyway, I mean, Accrington, yeah, weirdly, it just doesn't have that big game feel. But I wonder if that is just because none of us are like actually going. I'm not going to it, and that maybe it's just changed my perception of it. But I know if we go there and perform the way we did against Newport, that we can go up there and get a result, and it will feel pretty big if we go up there and win.
Yeah, I think so. Probably, especially as a result of how Saturday ended, not necessarily the result, but like that stomach punch. It's not like, I don't want to say bounce back because it shouldn't be a bounce back from drawing at home to third in the league. But there's a sort of intangible bounce back to like the way that we drew that game, if you know what I mean, to not let your heads drop from conceding 3 points, basically, or 2 points in the last minute of a game. There's like I think we said it in the pub straight after on Saturday that if you go and win at Accrington, you can quite quickly start forgetting about that last minute penalty because you've kind of instantly got back on the right track. So I think that's kind of in the spirit of what you're saying, that if you get a good result, it feels like a big result because you're making a big stride forward.
I still think a draw there is a good. You have to like isolate these games out from each other, right? A draw up there is a good result. Like, it's not a bad result. It's just a fine result. You just got to then be looking at all the other games around it, right? And you just...
Correct.
If you draw, we're in a great position. It's always got to zoom out. And just remind yourself, I was explaining this to someone the other day, and I think I was talking to you about it the other week. I have this weird sense, I'm sure a lot of other people have it, where when you're on the run and you're in a sort of promotion contention, I don't know. I think I was lying in bed on a Sunday morning after one of the games, and I was really like... It felt a bit strange. I just want to know what's going to happen. So I'm like almost willing the season to go, if you know what I mean. I want to know how this ends. It's sort of like, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or more philosophical, but just sort of like, it's got to remind yourself to kind of enjoy it as well, like whilst it's happening, and just savor every moment. Because I really didn't think we would be this competitive this season.
No,
and we are. So it's like, I think basically you can go out to Accrington, you can get yourself a good point. It won't be getting a point at Accrington that undoes us or like derails us, if that makes sense, even if the other results are slightly different. You probably then still look, I think weirdly, go to Accrington and draw will make you look at that penalty we conceded at MK more, if you know what I mean, because you'd be like,
you think the other way around.
Well, because you sort of think I think that's how it feels, because you'd be like, if you had offered 4 points from the two games, you absolutely would take it.
Fine.
And we were 30 seconds of football. This is assuming we draw at Accrington, 30 seconds of football away from delivering that 4 points. And that's exactly what we need. We've got 12 games to go. We probably need 84 points. That line is just starting to come down because people are just wobbling. Someone might look at us and say we're wobbling, having drawn a couple of games. This is a relative wobble. Bromley have drawn 4 or 5 or whatever. So everyone's just slightly slowing down a little bit, and that's bringing that numbers total down. So we're 20 points away from that threshold. Like, you can afford to draw a couple of these games. Again, I still think in our promotion season at this stage, we lost 4 more games. We just went and orbited it, obviously, with a ton of wins. And it was only 1 draw in our last 14 games or something. So any outcome is not a disaster, basically. But whatever happens, that if we don't win the game, then you will be looking at that Gillingham home game and thinking, oh, this does feel big, because now we're starting to build. Now we're starting to build pressure.
And you look at the other side of it. Like, I know Walsall are bang out of form, especially at home, but you still got to go Tuesday night away from home to a side that are in the top. I mean, they're 11th now, but they're in the top.
They'll be on new manager bounce surely at this point.
That as well. I think we might.
You just know it.
We're playing them just too late, aren't we? For that, for the we kind of needed them this Tuesday. Fleetwood went up there and won on Tuesday. And then you've got Salford at home, who just seem like really unpredictable. I mean, they lost 5 in a row or something, then went and won at Colchester. We saw Colchester have got a lot of threat to offer, and then I'm pretty sure they lost. Yeah, they lost at Grimsby in the week. So a team that are at least fighting for it. They've got loads of quality in their side. So suddenly you're right that what Saturday does, and I think this is just what the end of the season is it magnifies that Gillingham game hugely, because even taking Saturday out of the equation, if you look at our home games remaining, Swindon at home, Notts at home, not in this order, Salford at home, all still to play, that Gillingham home game is actually quite big anyway, just to make sure you're keeping up that brilliant home form and banking the points where you can. The other reason for Saturday and potentially, we sound quite defeatist accepting a point. I don't think that's kind of what we're saying. I think we're saying if you were to draw the game, it's potentially not a disaster. And a big reason for that is, as I mentioned in the intro, could be quite a big day for the top 5, I think. Grimsby play Bromley. Early kick-off, that is.
Is that early? That's big, isn't it?
That's early kick. So by the time we kick off, Bromley will be, they'll have played 2 games more than us. We'll have 2 games on them, potentially 5 points behind them if they lose that. Grimsby, I wouldn't fancy going to Grimsby. I'd much rather be going to Accrington than I would going to Grimsby, I'll tell you that. So, potentially open something there. Swindon go to Crawley. I mean, we know that Crawley aren't a particularly good side. They are fighting down there. They're only a point above the line now.
They're not doing a very good job of fighting. That's just loading up their results.
No one down there is doing a good job of fighting, by the way.
They've drawn a couple of games, and they drew against MK at MK the other week. I guess that's if you're looking for crumbs of comfort.
And I saw, Swindon have lost 2, 1-2 in their last 5. They're not like you said, there's kind of a few hiccups there potentially.
It would just be nice if this pack of 5 just suddenly became a 4, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
just a bit less, really nice. Bit less stressful if someone wants to drop out, and obviously it's not us.
Well, Notts County go to Walsall. They're on. I mean, what are they? 3 points behind us, Notts County at the moment. We just talked about Walsall a little bit. I still think that's a trickier game than going to Accrington, although their home form is horrendous. Walsall's is like they're 17th. They've scored 18 in 17 home games, and then. Here's the thing why I think it might be quite a big day, because if there's a few hiccups here in different places.
Yeah, you've changed my mind completely now, because I've just realised what's going to happen is that Grimsby pop Bromley. And we're like, come on, suddenly this game feels enormous.
Yeah, and then we draw.
We win. We win.
and then MK go play Accrington, Harrogate at home. So they've got like the one, I mean, they're the only one playing at home of the whole top 5. And against, I think, bottom of the... No, they're not. Are they bottom at the moment? Yeah, they are bottom again, yeah. Although Harrogate's form, they've not lost in their last 5. Very tough team.
Something. Yeah, we started something for them, didn't we?
And with Bromley, you mentioned it there, 4 draws in their last 5. 4 of those games at home.
Honestly, and they only beat, obviously, they played Accrington last time, right? And they only beat them 2 pens. And obviously, Accrington got an early red, a guy who'd just come back off suspension. Stamped on someone after in the 10 minutes. 14th minute. Yeah.
And on Tuesday night, sorry, it's like, and then.
This is great. Yeah, it's great. It's nothing to do with Cambridge United anymore, basically. Yeah.
Tuesday night, I watched a bit of Bromley's 0-0 draw at home to Oldham because I've got nothing else going on in my life.
Christ.
I flicked it on as Oldham had a chance cleared off the line in the last 50, with about 15 minutes to go. Cheek had gone off injured in the 40th minute or something like that. Obviously, The thing I've always thought with Bromley is like they're clearly a good side, but it's without knowing loads about their squad, how deep is it if someone like a Cheek or the centre half Suwumni gets injured? And we're about to find out. I assume we don't know much more at the moment about his injury, but I'm sure someone will by the time they kick off against Grimsby. But yeah, like that's an interesting afternoon for the top five. I guess from now on they kind of all are. We're going to make
it's great, isn't it? This is when it becomes, because you're sort of half watching games but half staring at your phone. And just, I don't know, it feels quite fun. There's more going on.
This is what it's about. I think this is what it's all about.
There's just loads. It's just permutations. You've
got to try and enjoy it rather than feel nervous. But as soon as you're watching United, I just can't help but like have that like proper. Well, it's just so much on the line, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, this will sound crazy, and obviously, should we watch the Grimsby? Should we watch that at George's house?
Grimsby, probably.
We could watch.
You just call me a loser. You just call me a loser.
No, mate, because it's half marathon prep. Just eat some pasta. Watch Grimsby Bromley with the boys,
Sounds like quite fun, to be fair. We'll invite ourselves round to George live on the preview show and then wait for him to text us when he listens to it.
Yeah.
Shall we find out a bit more about our opposition? Because we are actually playing a football match as well, and we can talk a bit about Cambridge United. Let's start with a preview from our Canadian friend across the pitch.
Right then, news fans, it is time to find out a little bit more about Saturday's opponents. Telling us all about Accrington, we have Tony from the Across the Pitch podcast. Welcome back to you, Tass. Nice to see you again.
Nice to be back with you, fellas. Appreciate you contacting us, and always a pleasure to talk football, especially when I get a chance to talk about Stanley and fill people in about what's going on at the WAM Stadium.
Just trying to remember when we spoke last. It was just before Christmas, wasn't it? Yeah, 19th of December we played each other last. Cambridge won 2-0 that night. How's life been as an Accrington fan since December?
Well, it's funny you say that, because after that match we went on a really good run, winning I think 6 out of 8 matches that took us from, we were near the bottom 2 or 3. And took us up into to sort of mid-table. We've hit a bit of a rough spell the last 4 or 5 matches, and I think a lot of that has to do with the suspensions. We seem to run into a really bad spell of those, and it's when you see the red cards and the suspensions, you're thinking that's a dirty team, and I don't say that Stanley is. I think they just had some bad luck. I mean, definitely the one against Josh Woods, but there was one against Luke Butterfield that I thought was should have been overturned. And if you can't win an appeal like on that one, then I don't know what the process is good for. But we're getting men back, and I think we should see a different, more fuller squad on Saturday.
Oh, that's disappointing to hear. But in terms of the season so far, you mentioned the good run around Christmas time after we played each other last. Currently 15th in the table, 46 points. What's that? Nearly 20 points clear of the teams in 23rd and 24th. Basically safe, right? It's job done. Another season guaranteed.
I think so. And I at the beginning of the season, there was a lot of predictions, and I think 95% of them had Stanley going down. And I spent a lot of time doing some interviews, basically defending Stanley's position as to why I thought that was harsh. And to be honest with you, I had him between 15th and 17th. And I know we were at 13th, but other teams have games in hand, and they've just sort of pushed us down in the 15th. But I think to the start of the season, looking at the squad, I think people are happy with progress. And come January into February, the talk of relegation sort of dissipated, and which is nice because fans could concentrate on the positive. And when you're a small club with a small crowd, if the crowd is not behind the squad, and it really sort of can affect the players. And I thought you saw the team playing with a lot more confidence once they got a couple wins. And it all started actually after you guys beat us. So I don't know whether to say thank you for that or not, because I mean we went on a good run after that.
Why is it then do you think that you've had the season that you've had, and that you are sort of not thinking about relegation, not looking over your shoulder? Why? What do you think the success has been this season?
Well, I think one of the things about 12 months ago, January of last season, they signed a couple of defenders, Devin Matthews and Ben Ward from non-league. Ben Ward has recently gone on to Reading in the window, and we got $500,000 for him, which is pretty good money for a year's investment into a player. But basically, that's what Stanley has to do, is to find players from the non-league, develop them, and move them on. And defensively, we seem to tighten things up. And I think if you look at our record goals against, we're probably in the top half of the table for goals against. And that has a lot to do with Devin Matthews and, of course, Perron Rawson, who's just been an immense player and always rated as one of the best players on the team. So defensively, we've done well. We've had Freddie Sass come in to take Ben Ward's spot. And it seems to, and the goaltender we got on loan from Southampton, Ollie Wright, has really sort of progressed and playing with a lot of confidence, and has a lot to do with where we are today. So it's been defensively they've built the team from the back out, and really our suspensions have been in midfield, and that's where I think we've run into problems, not being able to get the ball up to the forward line. And we've had Paddy Madden that's been injured a bit. So we haven't had any consistency in the last 4 or 5 matches in the midfield and up on the striker area. And I think that's contributed to our poor run at the moment.
But you're thinking that might be different for Saturday. What's the team news that you're aware of so far? And I admit we're talking Thursday, so you might not know everything.
Well, I have Luke Butterfield back, and Devin Matthews and Ferron Rawson will be in, and also Freddie Sass. Donald Love, who was sent off the other day, which was, I'm not going to argue with that one. That was definitely a red card. And he plays on a wingback position, so we're going to need somebody to slot in that position. But we've got a guy like Alex Henderson that can fill that spot. Hopefully, we're hoping to have another really good signing this year has been Isaac Sinclair. His dad was an English international, and he's really played well, but he's been out for a month, and we've missed his. He's one of those players that's not flashy, but when he's not there, you really miss him, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And if we can get him back in midfield, and then we've still got Seamus Keneally, an old warrior that's playing well. And Sean Wally up front too. He's just tireless and runs his legs off. So if we get him up front with Paddy Madden, I think we can hopefully create some chances and maybe get a goal or two.
And tell me a little bit about how Accrington play, because it's been a while since December since we've seen you. So what's the kind of style of football that Accrington like to play? What can we expect on Saturday? Is it is it pressing? Is it long ball? What's the
Well, it's been sort of it's changed with the manpower they've had. I mean, the last couple of matches we've been playing on the counter because we've sort of been hemmed in, and against Bromley especially. I thought Bromley even with 10 men, we played them well, and if it wasn't for a couple of penalties, we could have come out of there with a point. So we like to sort of play from the back and go down the wings. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where our strengths have been. We have Conor O'Brien on the one side, and as I say, we're going to have to find another wing back on the other. So they play basically with 3 at the back and then the 2 wing backs. But they're not afraid to go north-south in the middle if the opening's there. But I think teams like to try and keep us to the outside. There's a young player, and I think you probably saw him when we played you guys on the wing, Isaac Heath, from a short little fella from Everton. He generally gets double teamed, and sometimes triple teamed. Which if he can get the ball free, it usually leaves somebody open in the lanes. So I think the big thing is if they give him a bit of room, he'll get the ball through them, and also he likes to cut on the inside and have a go and get the ball into the box. But I think we seem to be a threat on set pieces. Freddie Sassa's a long throw in, and that's how they got the goal against Bromley, was a long throw in and a header from this big Dave Amimbola that's on loan from Bolton. Got a straight header into the net from a long throw in. So set pieces we seem to be pretty good at, corners and free kicks, so and the long throw ins. So I think that's where we might see some chances.
Excellent. And if you were working for Neil Harris, our manager, as a scout, how would you suggest Cambridge approach playing Accrington? Where do you think there might be some weaknesses that Cambridge could maybe exploit and maybe turn the game in their favour?
Well, I think one of the things, and I think this is, you see this at other teams if they've been scouted Stanley properly, is pressure up high on the pitch. When the ball's played out from the back, pressure the back three and force them into giving the ball away too soon, and then winning the second balls in midfield. But definitely pressuring the team into forcing that pass when they're not ready, and giving up the ball. And that, I think that would be my way of really sort of taking on Stanley, is if they play it from the back, do a 3-man press, and not just one guy on the ball, but the other guys pressing the open men too. Take away that open pass at the back, and you never know. Good things can happen when teams press like that if you do it together, not just isolated press.
Excellent. And then the big question, Tony, how do you see Saturday panning out? What are your hopes and expectations, and how do you think the game is going to go, and what do you think the score will be?
Well, I mean, I'd love to see a win. I think with the poor form we're in, and then we've always played well against the top teams, and we've got some really good results against the top teams. We beat Notts County at home when everybody had them coming in for 3 points. So there is a very good possibility that we can get the win. Realistically, I think we'd take a draw, just to sort of stop the rot. And if we can play well defensively and get the ball upfield, I'd like to see a 2-1 win. I think it'll be a low scoring game, but I think there'll be a couple of goals. I'd love to see 2-1. I wouldn't rule out a 2-0 win for you guys, but I'm going to settle on a 1-1 draw.
Terrific. Tony, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Wishing you all the best for the rest of the season. You play a few other teams in the automatic promotion race, so yeah, best of luck in those games for sure.
Well, the same for you guys. I think the record you've gotten defensively, you're a very, very strong team. And when I watched you guys play, and after watching Bromley the other day, I would got to say you guys are as good, if not better, than Bromley. So I think I'd be shocked if you guys don't go up automatically. And although as much I'd love to talk to you guys again next year, I think that's not going to happen because you're going to be playing up a division higher. So all the best for you guys.
That's music to my ears. Thank you, Tony.
Okay, take care.
Thanks very much, Jord. And thanks very much to Tony from across the pitch there. Greatest accent in
It's so weird, isn't it?
Any podcasting space I've ever heard. Yeah. Love it. Hope he's doing well. Accrington, it is an interesting... They are quite an interesting side. As we said, they've lost 4 of their last 5, but they went on a hell of a run to break away from the from any danger of the drop. Yeah, they're up in 15th at the moment, 10 points off playoffs, and what are they? Can't do the maths quick enough. 19 off going down. Are they on the beach already?
Probably not. I just feel like you never get that at Accrington.
Because 10 points in League Two still, like, I just think mad run is. I
just think their place is a hard place to go, and I feel like Harris was quite funny in the press. He should talk about Accrington Stanley, same way as I'm trying to talk about them now. Pretend that I know a huge amount about them, but I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's always a hard place. I just don't think they would ever be beachy. They just strike me as a club. It could be a whole other podcast. This
won't allow themselves.
Clubs that could be beachy versus ones that wouldn't. I just feel like they don't have it in them.
Do you think we're incredibly beachy? I think
we're pretty beachy.
Beachy, yeah. Cambridge United, yeah.
I think we're a pretty beachy team. If there's an excuse to be beachy, then we'll do it. But I mean, you make a good point about League Two. So they're not in any relegation threat. It's not possible, and they've probably got enough points already, frankly.
Definitely.
But the door is always ajar. Someone always comes from a mile away to get in the playoffs. Looking at their form more recently, though, this does kind of remind me of when we went up to Oldham couple of 6 weeks ago, and a lot of the chat was like, "Oh yeah, it's a really hard place to go. Like they've got really good defensive rate." It was all this chat, and then I can't remember who broke that spell. It might have been you. You're like, they're like 15th or something like that. They're shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like they are just they are just like a rubbish League Two team. They are just like they are right down there. So even though they've had this really good run of form, there is a reason they are still pretty low down in the table. So it's one of those where, if you're being pragmatic, you say yes, take the point. I think if you're talking about title aspirations, then this is, looking at our fixtures we got left, this is one of the easiest games we got left. And that changes the perspective. And you're like, well, we need to be going there and getting a result, really. I think all you ask for always, and this is, I don't know, it feels like a bit of a anathema with Neil Harris, is like to go there and be positive. Like, don't go there with this idea that we can't go and win the game. And Harris in the press actually was asked about the away form improving. He spoke about how we sort of go to these games equipped now to really like dig in and then grind the results out in the second half. I think he was particularly talking about the Newport game. I know Newport first half was a bit heavy going, obviously, just in terms of watching as much as anything, but we were fairly well in control of that half. I think if we can do the blueprint the way we've been doing these away games ever since sort of November, keep things tight, 0-0 at half time, attacking subs come on, you almost know the script by now. Go and grind out even a 1-0, 2-0 win would be a really good result, particularly if Bromley obviously wobble earlier on. So maybe we should be going there and winning.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about your how you would like to see us approach this game, which you kind of answered there. The intel from the Oppo fan just there is they play out from the back. For success, we want to press them high up the pitch. I kind of in my head feels like that marries up to what you're saying in terms of trying to approach the game positively, front foot, go and try and. Do you know what I mean? Put your impression on the game. Do you know what I mean? Play the game in your hands and press them high, be aggressive. Is that translating to you? Because sometimes in these first half of games, Newport, Oldham, we've spoken about this kind of blueprint a few times. I wouldn't say we stand off them, but there's definitely, it feels like an instruction to maybe be a tiny bit less brave, keep it tight, be a bit more conservative. And then, as you say, we know the script in the second half. Do you just see it playing out like that again?
I think it'll be like that again, right? Kind of like Crawley is probably the one where Crawley, we really did sit back off them quite a lot. It felt like in the first half, they're obviously not a great side, and we made it tell over time. We did really well to get that goal in the first half, but then when we came out in the second half, it was really high press, really high energy, and we really tipped the game over. It felt like, I know it took a little while for the second goal to come, but it felt almost inevitable that it was going to happen. So yeah, I think the blueprint is what we're in for. So I'm not expecting fireworks in that first half. I think it's probably a good sign. I mean, if we can do another slow burning football match, that it doesn't matter if it takes an hour, 65, 70 minutes to catch, as long as we catch and go and get the goal, then it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to look eye please. The longer the season goes on, the less easy on the eye the games need to be, frankly. So it doesn't matter if it's a completely attritional. We just go and grind a goal out, and we will have so much strength to come off the bench that I think that will be the plan, basically.
And potentially even more strength in the coming weeks from the presser, Kouassi, Mayer and McLaughlin all out this weekend, but maybe back for Gillingham, which is quite something to think that players of the quality that we've seen them three add to this side in the next, let's say, 2-3 weeks, especially when we've got that run of games where we play Saturday, Saturday, between Gillingham and Barnet, to have options like that, that's an exciting prospect.
I don't know what's going to happen to the bench. I've got no idea. Obviously, McConnell will sit, but I don't know where then we make space, particularly when Michael Morrison, who's also OTG, when Morrow is also back fit. So we're going to have an embarrassment of riches, to be honest. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. It'd be great to get these guys back fit. It's going to be, I mean, we've been talking about it probably ever since Mayer got injured. It was like, guys, it's going to be like a new signing when he comes back.
Yeah.
Kouassi, I'm interested to see how he gets on. I think he was performing well, but this thing that's happened that seems to happen to a lot of injured players has happened to him, where his stock seems to have been rising every single week whilst he's been injured, if you know what I mean. So I'm interested to see, to be honest, what shape they're in as well. We know with these injuries, you know, you've got to kind of ease people back. It seems like we're going to have a lot of that going on. Just hope we use the resources well and keep everyone, ideally, if we keep everyone fit at the end of the season, you feel like surely we'll get promoted.
Yeah, you'd think. I mean, yeah, it's all in our hands, isn't it? What would you do with the lineup on Saturday?
It's interesting now, isn't it? I mean, obviously we know McLaughlin is out, so that limits options for changes slightly. I think he's going to do it. I think the Nevitt Appere. I think that switch is.
The Nevitt Appere double up.
Nevitt Appere. No, not double up. I think the swap over is going to happen.
Oh, I see. Sorry,
I think he's going to. I think he will. I think based on MK and both performances, frankly, I just wonder if now is the time that he decides to do it. He's been pretty ruthless in other departments, making changes, you know, rotating people out of winning teams and stuff. So I'm slightly surprised that hasn't happened yet, but I just feel like Nevitt came on, and obviously it's different when you come off the bench and when you're starting a game. We all know this, but I just feel like he really made a good case for himself. He also had a role in the goal, but he was just disruptive. He was winning a lot. So I think that might be probably one of the sort of more standout changes that we see. I don't think we have much other change we can really make or justify elsewhere. I mean, I feel like the Kai cycle has run very quickly this time, where he is amazing coming off the bench and he has a huge impact, so much so that he plays himself into contention, gets a start, and then the start is really meh, if you know what I mean, which is a shame. But he has earned his way into this side. So, and also I don't think we've got like major viable alternatives really, unless without a really big reorganization. Trying to think what that would even look like. You'd be Corey Smith in, Kai out, and that'd be a weird Brophy going higher up the pitch, but then you've got to kind of find like a wing back.
Yeah, maybe that would be like where Amaya might sit once he's fit, but obviously not for this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, even Harris, weirdly, in the press conference was talking about Shea McLaughlin being cover for wing-back as well.
He's played there for Newport before.
Well, that's what he was saying. He's been basically their whole promotion season. He was like a wing-back, apparently. So I don't know if that was part of what he was thinking about.
Right.
But that seems like a bit of a reach as well. So I think if there's going to be a change, I think it'll be Nevitt for Appere. I think the rest stays as it is.
Maybe rightly so. Like if they can go, just keep going. Like
it's still a good result. I mean, again, I'm not singling Kai out. I thought he had a quieter afternoon, and it's part of a longer term trend, right? Of when he starts games, is he as involved as he needs to be? Whereas when he comes off the bench, my one concern from that MK game was, you know, we don't have a lot that we're actually going to be able to bring off the bench. Obviously, you'll know at the time I was saying bring them both on, get Lavery and Nevitt on, which is what he did. But it felt like we didn't have tons of like big options, if you know what I mean.
I wonder if you might do something like, sorry, I'm just scheming it in my head as I'm saying it. The normal five, so Bennett right wing back, Brophy left wing back, Gibbons, Job, Watts, Ball and Smith, but
that's
maybe
possible.
And then Pelly higher up, as we've seen on away games.
And then no Kai.
And no Kai, Knight and Nevitt or Appere. But
you solved the puzzle, I think. Yeah.
And then maybe
that is the.
I quite like that as an idea. And then you've got Kai and Lavery to come off the bench, which, as we saw at Newport, that's the two to bring on.
Well, and to be fair, in this scenario, also Appere, who I think will be way more where Nevitt is benefiting from these 20, 30 minute cameo coming off the bench and look quite good. I think Appere, the way he he's quite lively in the final third. He doesn't do well at holding the ball up. He does really well at winning the ball back. This idea from opposition fan of pressure.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like
what I'm trying to say. Exactly. If they're saying they play out from the back and press them high, Apre seems like a good option for that.
Apre last 20 minutes. He's intelligent is the thing. He reads the game really well. So when he's winning the ball back, you know, he seems to do it at least once a game. He just sort of sneaks behind someone and like, wins the ball back. It's all coming from intelligence. You know, did it really well, obviously, up at Oldham. That was winning the penalty, right? Was Apre basically... Yeah. The first goal, it was him like just sort of robbing the centre-back. The centre-back was dithering massively, but Apre was there, got himself into the box, you know. So, the thing is, I'm relaxed. If Apre starts, it's not a crime either because he has been a part of this massive run. Harris obviously sees something. Harris was a striker and he's earned enough credit that he gets to do basically what the hell he wants, doesn't he? So
true. We'll see. What's your prediction?
Oh, God. I mean, it feels like saying a draw is the smart thing. But now you've convinced me Bromley are going to lose the early game. Maybe we'll go there and win. Bromley lose the early game and we win, and that's it. Fever pitch.
I think we win 1-0.
You reckon?
I think so. I think so. That's my feeling.
I'll have a little... Yeah, I'll have 2-0, like a Newport. Yeah. A Newport-esque.
I do just think, like, as much as they're clearly not like a bad side, as you just said, they're 15th in League Two. We're second. Like, I do think we might just end up having enough, and I'm sure they'll be tough to break down, and it is a tough place to go. But I just feel like we'll have enough. And I mean, you never know with this stuff that if Bromley were to get popped early doors, it might give them like an extra bit of motivation that you are like within touching distance of top spot. But who knows? We'll never know. That's that. And obviously then the day after you're going to all run your half marathons, you, Tom and Swindle. We're going to be in the Old Spring, our wonderful sponsors, eating a skepasti, enjoying 10% off of our United season tickets. No happy hour on Sunday, but you can go on Saturday after a 1-0 United win and enjoy a happy hour, 50% off. Between 5 and 6. We'll be in there from midday having a few drinks. Do come and say hello. Come and if Caspell's done under 80 minutes, it's just going to be absolute.
It's already clear Swindle won't be in there. Swindle won't be in there midday. Swindle will be in
everyone
there
will come and then left.
Yeah. he's gonna miss Swindle's gonna miss last orders, mate.
So yeah, come and find us for a drink. It'd be lovely to see a few of you. And say hello. Little reminder, because of that, the review show this week is being recorded on Monday night. So if you're a Monday morning commute listener, you're going to have to wait until Tuesday for the release of the review show. And that's that. Cass will have a great weekend. The next time I'll see you will be probably either watching Grimsby Bromley at George's house or at the finish line of the half. So if it's the finish line...
You're not going to support midway. I'm not going to see you midway, mate.
Oh, I'll give you a little looking out, but you'll be looking at your calculator or something.
I'll be staring at my just trying to I'll be looking confused, you know, trying to do a gel or something.
Something like that. Well, best of luck, mate.
On the way, there's a sign making station. You've got huge opportunity for.
Brilliant. Well, if I get there early enough, I'll make a sign.
Yeah, you better, mate.